Recently, I uploaded a video of me rolling my ankle jumping down a 10 stair 2 weeks ago, and today I have nothing better to do. I still can't walk, so I decided I would make a video talking about what was going on through my head during this time. So for a quick backstory, bad vibes were in the air this night. I got off work at maybe 10:30 p.m. I got a new skateboard. I had snapped my old one 2 weeks prior to this, so it had been a while since I skated. By the time we got up to this staircase, it was probably midnight, so it was dark outside. We were tired. It was my first time jumping down anything this big. Prior to this, the biggest gap I've jumped was maybe 6 feet. And it's a street spot, so there are cracks at the top and the bottom of the staircase. There's gravel. It's not as ideal as it would have been if it was in a skate park. So a lot of variables spelled out disaster, and I knew this going into this. Normally, when it comes to doing new things or stepping out of my element, doing new tricks, anything, I'm pretty fearless. But tonight, I was freaking nervous. I was shaking, scatterbrained. I was uncertain what would happen, but I was honestly like 90% certain something would go wrong. So I had anxiety going into this, and that was pretty rare for who I am. To overcome these feelings, this is when my inner monologue kicked in. Basically, I just called myself a pussy. At the end of the day, the guy who does the dangerous thing has more balls than the guy who doesn't. So it was my decision. Do I want to be a man or a mouse? Now, I'm not saying that it's a good thing to have balls. If you're a really ballsy person, then you're going to do some really stupid things. It takes balls to walk up to the biggest guy at a bar and punch him in the face. And it takes balls to tie your own balls to a bleacher and jump off, ripping your own balls off. That doesn't mean that those are good ideas. My rationalization in this moment was that it's only stupid if I fuck up. If I ollie down the stairs and land it, then that's a huge milestone. It would be the biggest skating feat that I've accomplished so far, so it would really boost my morale. So picture this. You've been in college for a year, summer's just beginning, all the snow and rain is gone, perfect night to skate. You buy a brand new deck. You go out and skate it that night. It's the beginning of a summer of growth and improvement. You have plans to learn trays, tricks downstairs, learning how to grind and slide, improving tranny, breaking in a new deck, and going hard all summer, just for 3 months straight. Nothing but skate, work, and hang out, I guess. The very first thing you do is jump down a huge stairs, bigger than you ever have before. What kind of an opening to a summer is that? A rewarding ass opening. And this can all be accomplished by one small ollie. So I was able to convince myself that the reward outweighed the risk, and to warm up, I just pushed as fast as I could and ollied around the parking lot. With every ollie that I would land, I convinced myself more and more that I need to jump down the staircase, because that's literally all you do, a fast ollie. And honestly, there was a little part of me that wanted to mess up those ollies, because if I can't land a fast ollie on flat, then there's no point in trying to do it down a 10 stair, so it would give me a good excuse not to do it. But I wasn't messing up those ollies, so I pretty much decided I have to go for it. So I finally decide to go for it. I climb up to the top of the 10 stair, I roll off, and this is what happens. I didn't plan on running up like that. Lots of people like to run up to big jumps and stop just to get a feel for what it's like, to imagine what their next steps are going to be. Some people think it also helps to calm your nerves and get you ready to actually commit to jumping. But for some people, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't make me any less nervous to run up to a jump, so to me it kind of seems like a big waste of time. If I'm going to go for a jump, I'm going to go for it. And in this case, you can see my nerves get the better of me. If you look at my expressions each time I bail, you can see the disappointment that I have in myself. This is when my inner monologue is saying, what was the point of that? Why did you run up just to bail and waste everybody's time? Because you're a pussy! Running up to the stairs and not committing isn't going to magically make it a smaller, easier jump. That's what I'm telling myself. So after my first bail, my friend holding the camera told me, I'm going to give you 2 more tries before leaving. He had to drive his girlfriend home. I had already wasted a lot of time warming up. And unbeknownst to him, giving me 2 more bails before leaving made a big impact on my mind. Because I was already telling myself that I'm wasting time, so he helped to reaffirm that idea. Giving me an actual quantity, 2 more bails before leaving, really helped tell me that you either do this or you don't. And that's what I was telling myself this whole time. I'm trying to convince myself to jump down. So I decided to do it. I roll up and I freaking bail again. This was as much of a battle against myself as it was a battle against the staircase. I had that rational worried side still in me that rarely comes out when skateboarding. But this time I was really fighting against myself and trying to decide whether to jump or not. So bailing again really broke the camel's back. He gave me 1 more chance after this. I have to jump down, whether I land it or not. And my mind was made. So I made that commitment to my friend and told him that I'm going to do it this time. Making that commitment to someone other than myself really helped me seal the deal that I have to go for it, because it's a lot harder to let somebody else down than it is to let yourself down. I could tell at the time, and in hindsight looking over this footage, that I half-assed this jump. I barely ollied at all. I didn't try to stay on my board. All I focused on was clearing the stairs and landing on both feet. And you can see that. I did that. I rolled away to break up that built-up momentum, and from the second I got up unscathed and in one piece, My worries and fears dissipated instantly. It all just melted away as I realized that I was just being a pussy and making a big deal over something that really isn't much different than ollieing a 4-stair. My confidence was boosted, my anxiety went away, and instantly I went from a hopeless, I'm out of my skill level mindset to, this is way easier than you were making it. It's just an ollie. You got this. So I was hyped up after that first jump. I wasn't hurt at all. It wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it would be. My friend was hyped up too. And on this last jump, when I was most at ease, I fully committed. Halfway through, I realized that my front foot had dipped below my back, and I just kept going in that direction. So, midair, I realized that I wasn't going to land it. I'm going to land on my nose and roll away. Just ride it through, fall and roll, go back and land it next time. I'm still completely confident that although I didn't do it this time, I'll make it next time. My spirits are still high. So I land and instantly feel that pressure that you feel when you roll your ankle. And I knew that I hurt, just not how bad I was hurt. I figured that with all the stress going on in my mind over these past 10 minutes or so, maybe I'm not as hurt as I think I am, and I'm just freaked out by feeling any different after jumping down that 10 stair. So I get up, try to walk it off, and quickly realize that no, I fucked up. I hobbled over to that grass hill and sat down for a bit, hoping maybe the pain will go away soon, but my whole ankle is throbbing and sore.
Did you? Yeah, it's sideways. Let me see it. It's good now.
As you can see, I grab my foot and stretch it down and up all the way. It popped everything inside it, and I thought maybe if I pop it, it'll feel better. Maybe it'll relocate something dislocated. But then after that, I realized that I could have broken something, and trying to pop a broken bone can end up breaking more bones or, making it a lot worse. So I realized that could have been a bad idea. After this, it was 1 or 2 a.m. and I live like an hour away, so I realized that I need to get home as fast as possible. My friend had to drive his girlfriend home in her car, so after the injury, the first thing I did was drop them off at their car and head straight home. And as you can see, this is footage afterwards. This is what my ankle looked like after getting home. It was about 2 a.m. And then the next day, obviously, my whole foot and my ankle and shin were all swollen up and bruised. 2 weeks later, it's still bruised and swollen. So that wraps up the breakdown of all the thoughts and feelings going on through my head during this time. If there's enough time and demand, I'm still going to touch up on what exactly went wrong, what I've learned from this, what I regret, things like that. So look forward to more videos revolving around this clip, and I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe.